What's going on, everybody? This is Paul from the Basketball Show. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Knicks Pacers series, the feeling that I'm getting after Game 5, an overall outlook, kind of go through the series, how the teams are playing, and things like that. So let me get started. First of all, the Knicks, for some reason, I have the feeling, maybe deep inside, I know that it couldn't possibly be, but could it? I for some reason I feel like the Pacers kind of let us have that Game 5. They didn't really play their best basketball, if you know what I mean. And it just felt like they weren't really disappointed with the loss. For some reason, it kind of felt like it was pre-planned. I don't know. I mean, on one side, it doesn't make sense because they would probably love to win it on the Garden floor and end the series. But then on the other side, they would also love to win it at home and get to the NBA Finals at home and have their fans celebrate, them reaching the NBA Finals, because it'll be a madhouse over there. So they don't want to wait for that until Game 3 of the NBA Finals if they play OKC. Now, that's why I'm getting the feeling that we kind of got that game given to us, at least partially. Don't get me wrong, the Knicks put up a great effort to win that game. Jalen Brunson had a great game. Karl Anthony Towns was aggressive. Overall turnovers were limited. Defense was much sharper and better. I don't know. Halliburton wasn't aggressive. Not really. What did it end up with? Like 6 points or 8 points or something like that for that game? 7 field goals attempted. That's just, I've watched the whole series. That's just weird for him. So that's kind of my feeling. So what I think has to happen in this Game 6 when it starts today, the Knicks have to really be careful. I don't want them to kind of fall into this comfortability trap that, okay, we finally got them figured out, so let's do it. Let's do the same thing in Game 6, because I don't think the Knicks got them figured out. Indiana is a much deeper team, especially for defenders and shooters. I mean, everybody that comes off the bench is a great shooter, except maybe for their center substitute. But they're great shooters. McCollum can shoot. What are these guys? Siakam can shoot. Halliburton can shoot. Neesmith can shoot. Turner can shoot. Mathurin, good shooter. McConnell, good shooter. Nimhart can shoot. Toppin can hit an open three. I mean, that's 8 players that can really shoot the damn ball. On the Knicks, you got Jalen Brunson, good shooter. Karl Anthony Towns, good shooter. And then it kind of becomes suspect. Some games they got it going, some games they don't. OG Anunoby on one game, off on other. Mikal Bridges recently, I don't know, not too great of a shooter. Josh Hart seems a little bit scared to take shots even when he's open. So I don't know where that's coming from. McBride could get hot. Then we get Mitchell Robertson, who is a liability sometimes, because if Indiana fouls him, he's like really not great in free throws. So it's kind of a tough situation. I think Indiana has more weapons than we do. And it's going to be a tough Game 6. Very tough. Overall, looking at the statistics for the series, the Knicks are shooting 47.8% from the field, and then the Pacers are shooting 48.1%. So the field goal percentages are pretty much the same. But then when you start looking at 3-point shots, the Indiana Pacers are shooting 36.4%, the Knicks 34.2%. A little bit more of a discrepancy here. Free throws, 79.6% for the Knicks, 79.7% for the Indiana Pacers. So pretty much the same. Now, if you're looking at Rebounds per game, you got New York out rebounding the Indiana Pacers. No question. 42 rebounds a game to 36 rebounds a game. Assists, Indiana is just out assisting the Knicks. They're playing more of a team-oriented basketball. And Knicks averaging 18.8 assists a game, and the Pacers 24.4. Steals, Indiana better in that regard as well. Knicks averaging 7.6 steals for this series. Indiana averaging 8.4 steals for this series. Blocking, New York very slightly ahead of Indiana. What's surprising is that the Knicks have outscored the Indiana Pacers for the whole series. The Knicks have scored a total of 582 points in this series. And Indiana has scored 576 points. So the New York Knicks has scored 6 more points in the whole series. And they're still trailing 3-2, which is just strange. Now, if you're looking at points per game, in Indiana, you're looking at Pascal Siakam, 23, Tyrese, 21, Nesmith, 13. You got Turner at 13 and Mathurin at 11 almost. 5 players in double digits. You're looking at the Knicks, they got 4 players in double digits, although they're higher totals, because you got Brunson averaging 33 points for this series and Karl Anthony Towns 25. Now, 16 for Anunoby and 16 for Mikal Bridges are about what they're normally getting anyway. But I think they have to be more aggressive for the Knicks to have a chance to win this game 6 and to win this series, period. Josh Hart, 9 points a game. Overall, it should be an interesting game. Like I said, the Knicks cannot let them come out of the gate and just barrage them with shots and, Knicks not defending, because they can pull out to a 15, 20 point lead even in the first quarter. They're capable of that, the Indiana Pacers. And then all we're going to do is play catch up all game long and tire ourselves out, and that's it. So for Tibbs, I'm also looking to use our bench a little bit more, let our starters rest. Starters have to play smarter, not get into foul trouble, because we both need Karl Anthony Towns for the full game available, and then we need Jalen Brunson as well. So that needs to happen. The Knicks overall have to play a better, more aggressive game overall. Brunson can't try to do this all on his own. Karl Anthony Towns can't try to do this all on his own. But if they're passing the ball to the other guys, those other guys have to be aggressive enough to want their shot and kind of make a statement. Give me the ball. Let me get something for myself. There haven't been the other players haven't been creating much for themselves. Maybe McBride a little bit. OG Anunoby has tried a couple plays. He's turned the ball over a little bit. Josh Hart, especially game 4, turned the ball over a lot in important moments. And sometimes I even see him go into the basket and he kind of stops or jumps up in the air, and instead of looking at the basket and trying to score, he's looking to pass the ball off, which I don't like. And Bridges just has to be more consistent, man. Sometimes when he hits it, and it works. But a lot of times these close-in shots and turnarounds and fadeaways, they're just not falling a lot of times, man. It's annoying. Looks like Karl Anthony Towns pretty healthy. Nobody on the injury list for the Knicks, which is great. I hope the refs do a good job and not call this game one-sided. And we'll watch a good game, a good close game. And as you know, I'm a Knicks fan. I hope, the Knicks could pull this out and we get a game 7 on Monday in New York, which would be awesome to watch. So that about kind of gives you an idea of where I am. Do I think the Knicks can win this game? Of course, I think they can win this game, but they just have to be very aggressive, very smart. Indiana is going to be in front of their own home crowd, and they're going to want to jump on the Knicks early, take them out of their game plan, put as much pressure on them as they can, because right now the pressure is really on the Pacers. But they know that if they respond very aggressively and get a comfortable lead, they can get a little bit of that pressure off of themselves and play a calmer game later. Because the Pacers are under pressure to close this out. They don't want to go to a game 7 in the Garden. Believe me, they do not want to do that. And that's it. So hopefully the Knicks do get this win. And we'll have a good game, and then we go on to a game 7 and see what happens there. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you in the next one.